What is good, YouTube? Quinn Wade. Basketball analysis coming to y'all with my top 10 list, well, my top 5 list. You can go 10, but I won't cut it short this year just because it's a lot of confusion and it's a lot of positional mess around this year. So I'm just going to give you the people that I think is the top 5 going into this season who should be at the end of the season. This is not based off of last year. This is just based off this particular season that's coming up and how it's going to end. Obviously, we don't know about injuries and whatnot that could happen this season. And all these guys are healthy coming into this season, so I'm ranking them based off what they're going to be by the end. And it's guys like LeBron, Luka, Ben Simmons that are not on this list because you look at the position that they play on offense and the position they guard on defense, and even when you look at awards, they're still being counted as guards and forwards. So even at the All-Star game, I'm going to count them as guards and forwards because that's the position they defend and play, even though it may not look like that on an offensive possession. So LeBron will not be in this list. Luka won't be on this list. And obviously guys like Ben Simmons, who they did move back to power forward with their last coach, and we don't really know if he's going to be playing power forward or whatever. I'm going to keep him off this list and put him on the power forward list. Honorable mention, you could say Drew Holiday. I don't think Drew Holiday numbers will be there because he's playing with better talent. So I'm going to put him out of this list. So he's honorable mention. Trae Young, I feel like he has so many new pieces that his numbers are going to go down just because he doesn't have to score as much and do as much like he had to do, in my personal opinion, last year. But with upgraded talent from the guards and the wing positions and having a guy like Gallinari and having a full season possibly of John Collins and still getting Clint Capella into the system and as a starter for the entire season, hopefully, because he didn't play at all for them last year. His numbers are going to go down. His defense isn't going to be there. And I think that's why he's going to take a hit and not be as high as he probably was last year, but he had to do more. And Ja Morant, I like what I've seen about him in preseason. He was active. He was getting at it. He kept his teammates involved, and he was in attack mode, and he was very efficient. So he's going to be coming. Like I said, I had him as rookie of the year pretty much all last year, and I can definitely see him cracking this list in the future, just not this year. Chris Paul, number 5. I love me some CP. Was an All NBA player last year, All Star player last year. Really was the big reason why the Thunder was able to make the playoffs and do well because he was able to take over fourth quarter, close games, control games, and make sure he was a mentor and leading the team to the best of his ability. He deserved all the accolades that he got last year, and I really don't disagree with a lot of that because I was one of the people that was hyping him up and praising him, and he deserved everything he got last year. Unfortunately, they did get beat in the first round and they didn't really get far. But he was the only All-Star on that team. And he was at an advanced age. And for him to be that productive on both sides of the court at that age, and it wasn't really that long ago, to be honest, I don't really see him taking a step back. The only reason why I have him so low is because he's on a better team. Aiden is a beast. Booker can play, make, and score, and he can, do his own thing. And I just don't think Chris Paul is going to be needed to do a lot of the things that he did in Oklahoma City, just because Phoenix, to me, has a lot of guys that's hungry while also having a lot of guys that can do things on their own, so they don't have to rely on Chris Paul to carry them as much as he did last year. But the numbers are still going to be there. The impact is still going to be there. The wins should be there. And, he's still going to be Chris Paul. It just he doesn't need to carry the load as heavy as he did with a team like Oklahoma City, where he was the main reason why they was able to be so good and was able to close out so many games. John Wall. Everybody know that I'm a fan of John Wall and I respect him. He looked good in the preseason to me, being able to get up and down the court, be able to get in transition, showing a lot more confidence in his three-point stroke, doing pull-ups off the mid-range and off the three, being able to probe and get to the paint and get to layups, and finding teammates like Christian Wood and DeMarcus Cousins. They're going to love playing with John Wall because of his tempo, because of his unselfishness, but he also can put the ball in the basket. The problem with John Wall to me would be the efficiency. Can he shoot the three-pointer good enough? He showed that he can possibly get there, but with all these years off and everybody knowing that he declined a little athletically, he's going to have to rely on his perimeter shooting. That's going to be the thing. Can he knock down those shots throughout the whole season, and can he stay healthy? Those are the questions I have for John Wall. I'm not really worried about the points or the assists because that's what he does. And if he's starting and he's getting minutes, that's going to be there. He showed that in preseason. He showed that every single year of his career. Even when he was a rookie, he still gave you 16 and 8 with a terrible roster, in my personal opinion. And I don't expect anything less from John Wall. Another thing I want to see is his defense going to be there. This was a guy that was one of the best defensive guards at one point in his career. I want to see if he's going to be motivated to get back to doing that, or was that just that one season? I don't know what it's going to be, but I expect him to have better numbers and a big impact on this Rockets team, and that's why I have him over Chris Paul because I think he will have to do more, especially if Harden gets traded. Russell Westbrook, not the biggest fan of Russ, but you still got to give him credit when it's due. The number's going to be there. We know that the offense for the Washington Wizards, they like to get up and down. They like to score a lot of points. They don't play much defense, and that's Russ' style. He's not going to be a great defender. He's just going to get up and down the court and get his shots. The numbers are going to be there. He already been showing that he can rebound elite at the point guard position. I don't really think that's going to change in Washington. I already know the fact that he's going to get assists because they're going to be running a lot and they have a lot of shooters. So his ability to get to the paint, his ability to kick out, his ability to dump off, they have the personnel for him to be able to continue to do that, just like he did in Oklahoma City. Only problem with Russ will be the defense and the efficiency, which you already know that's a part of his game. That's something that he never really improved on significantly until last year. But even then, it cost him again in the playoffs where they all dropped again. So Russ is Russ. He's still elite at his position, and he still impact the game in a variety of ways. But the same thing that makes him great are the same things that continue to hold him out from the number one spot. And at this point in his career, he never will be the best point guard in the league. And it just is what it is at this point. Damian Lillard, I think he's going to have to do a lot. I feel like the West is crazy this year. I mean, you have to be playing your best basketball for you to be able to crack the playoffs in the Western Conference. They was barely able to do it last year, even though they had a lot of injuries and a lot of things that happened to them that really hurt their chances of winning enough to make it to the playoffs as going into the bubble. They were still able to make the playoffs, and even though they only won one game, Dame played pretty well. The efficiency wasn't there, 42% type games, but the three ball was there. He even was able to shoot 40% from three, which was spectacular for him considering that he shot 10 a game, I believe. He still is a great free throw shooter. He still was able to give you 30 points and 8 assists, which shows you that he can carry the load and he can still be dynamic enough to where he can make decisions. I feel like that was a huge step up for him as a player, as I was a guy that was always saying, Dame, if you want to win the title in Portland, you have to do more. Even though, just like Westbrook, he flamed out again in the playoffs to a certain extent, Dame was spectacular, especially in the bubble, and he was giving you 40s and 50-piece, 60-piece games, and you can't really ask your guard that's not even 6'5" or higher to do more. I feel like this is the peak of Dame. If Dame is going to get all the accolades and awards, these last couple of years showed that he deserved them, and he took advantage of it and got them. He didn't. It wasn't given to him. He earned his number two spot, and his defense hasn't been there. The playoffs continue to be a nightmare for him, especially getting injured. But when you look at what Dame was able to do, he was one of the best offensive players in the league. And honestly, that's what he's going to have to do again this year. And I don't really see the numbers falling off too much, even though they got a lot of guys going to be healthy this year, hopefully. I feel like he's still going to have to be aggressive in the attack mode if they want to win a lot of games in Portland. And if that's going to happen, I feel like he's going to be number two. Number one, Steph. Only reason why I have Steph is because Steph is a great passer. I look at it just like the Russ and the Dame situation where you have no Clay. Andrew Wiggins and Kelly are guys that can put the ball in the basket but not efficient shooters. Draymond Green, we know he's not a great scorer. James Wiseman is good, but he's not great. And he's not a great scorer either. They're going to need somebody that can put a lot of pressure on the defense and at the end of the day put the ball in the basket. And Steph can do that better than any other point guard in this league. Even when you look at Dame's season he had last year, he was nowhere near as close efficiently as Steph was at his peak. And even though I think Steph did decline, and I do think Steph isn't going to be that Steph that everybody wants him to be, he's still going to put up numbers. This team is going to rely on his movement, his shooting, and his attack. And that's how they're going to roll. And that's why I put him up there with Russ and Dame. They're going to have to do that if they want their team to win, and Steph is going to have to do it too. But efficiently, Steph is better than all of them. This guy can give you 48, 50% from the field and above average from three and above average from the free throw line while still giving you rebounding and assists. And the biggest problem with Steph's game besides defense was his passing. He used to always turn the ball over a lot. And I feel like that's going to be his Achilles heel this year because they're going to need him to do so much that he's going to make a lot of mistakes and miss a lot of shots. So his efficiency might not be as high as it was years ago, but he's still going to have the numbers to back up why I have him as the best point guard being being at that position for this season. So let me know what you agree or disagree with. Not too many people are not going to like it because everybody pretty much look at Steph as the best point guard in the league, and it's no surprise that he's number one for me because I look at him the same. The injury really killed this season last year, and now it's time to bounce back and do your thing. And I'm not really worried about that because you look at him and Steve Kerr, they're a hell of a tandem, and I feel like they'll figure it out. And as long as they get to the playoffs, I have them finishing around the same, or if not higher than everybody else on this list in the West. And I do think he'll have the best, statistical efficiency out of everybody on this list because he is a better shooter and scorer to me than the other guys on this list. But other than that, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Check out my website, analysisplayground.com. Link in the description, comment section below. Check out my Facebook page, analysisplayground.com. Link in the description, comment section below. Like on Facebook to show support. Thanks for everybody that likes on Facebook and continues to check it out. Not only that, check out my spread shirt. You can find that in the description, comment section below. Only merchandise is exclusively on there. That is not on my Facebook page. You can also buy merchandise by changing the color of the hat, changing the color of the shirt, picking the logo that you want, and customizing it the way you want it to be. And at the end of the day, I can get it shipped out to you if you want it. Not only that, I have over 2,000 videos on my channel, and the content is breakdowns of players, legends, rookies, and also summer league coverage and breakdowns of that, also draft coverage, free agency, top 10 lists, and also playoff predictions. Not only that, feel free to comment. I read every single comment, so don't be afraid to do that. Also, liking and sharing is another way you can support this channel because it allows me to reach more people. The more people reach, the better. Not only that, hopefully you guys enjoy y'all Saturday. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Whatever you agree or disagree with, or let me know y'all lists in the comment section below because I will read them. Quinn Wade, basketball analysis. I'm going. Enjoy your day.